stretch?
I think the ending's good. I'm not sure you ever feel good when they've got their closer in the game and you're down a run. But, like we talked about last night, the quality plate appearances got better as the night went on. Early on I was wondering, what Santiago was doing to make us so uncomfortable. We had a lot of early count outs. We were trying to hunt the heater up, and he was doing a good job against us. And then, in the fifth inning rolled around, Correa hits a homer. And then the sixth inning, our leadoff guy gets on. Seventh inning, eighth inning, ninth inning, we started getting some runners on base, and via the walk or a hit. So I guess hit by pitch for Louis, but it was good to see our guys continue to put up good plate appearances as the night got into their bullpen.
Any significance of being 500, considering you were 10 under?
Well, it's one game better than we were yesterday or when we started the day. So yeah, I mean, obviously I understand I guess the place marker that happens given how our season started. If you would have told me that we would be 500 on this date at the beginning of the season, we would have said we should be better. So I want to keep it in proper perspective that, yes, I'm happy with how we've continued to grind, continued to play. We've showed some personality. We're pretty tough. We've done everything we can to inch back to relevance, but this isn't going to accomplish anything. It's a good milestone because of how the season started. But we've got a tough game tomorrow that we need to focus on and be better.
Two times McHugh had runners at third base with nobody out, didn't allow either one to score, and it kind of gets lost now towards the end, but those were huge sequences.
Yeah, one of the gutsier performances for McHugh. I thought he was really good. The first inning could have been tragic for us. We started out with the first three hitters getting on base, and never easy to get through that unscathed. They do get a run, but no big number. And then obviously the home run, it was his really only other mark on him. The stranding runners at third is not easy to do. He doesn't pitch away from that situation. He just continued to attack the strike zone. Once he got ahead, we could find ways to put their hitters away. So I was very proud of Colin to get his 7 innings in and be as good as we could have expected.
It means little now, but a little frustrating to have all those chances late and not be able to capitalize on those leadoff guys getting off
early. Yeah, well, I mean, you mean in the getting a runner on base? Yeah, the double play was haunting us a little bit. They 3 times they turned a walk or a hit by pitch into a double play soon thereafter. So that's never fun. But for us, it's continuing to put up good plate appearances. That's the number one goal for us, because we're a really good offense and pretty dynamic when we do that. And we control a lot of that. If we stay in the strike zone, if we hunt the pitches that we're trying to hunt, we have a strategy that we try to implement every night, and we're starting to see that become a little more consistent.
Correa's had quite a few game winners this year.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
He's pretty.
Do you think that he has? What do you think gives him that success?
He's pretty calm in the moment. He wants to be in that situation, and most players will tell you that they want to be in that situation. His actions back up his words. He's very calm and he's very confident. And I don't care what the scoreboard says. I don't care where people think his numbers should be or where they're not or where they are. When the game on the line, he's going to get a good pitch to hit and he's going to put a good at bat together. And to watch him mature and grow into that, it's been fun to see him the last couple of weeks be more dangerous, to hunt pitches earlier in the count, to understand what the pitcher's trying to do and not concede anything. So, like we've said all season, whatever Carlos Correa does never surprises me, but his calmness in the big moments is starting to be a habit.
You touched on this a little bit earlier, but do you think they're able to hunt from situations? Is the time to him being a cleanup spot now a little easier for him to kind of be?
I don't know I think it's more just him recognizing what pitchers are doing to him, and he's had to make adjustments along the way from season to season, but also series to series. He's a perfectionist by nature, so he wants to do everything right. He wants to handle everything correctly. He wants to figure out what the pitcher is going to do, and sometimes he needs to let his athleticism and his natural instincts take over. And I think that's what he's done, recently. I mean, those pitches, as an example, the pitches he's hitting, almost to the train, are not necessarily pitches inside; they're pitches away. But he's been aggressive to the point of getting his contact point in a good spot, and he can do damage. And on the same game, he takes Houston Street to the opposite gap, where the RBIs are supposed to be with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. So he had a near perfect night.
When you guys were struggling so badly, was there a point you thought, we're going to get buried so far, it's going to be over before it begins?
Yeah, we're pretty good at maintaining our composure for one game at a time. I mean, these guys are probably tired of me preaching it because it is what it is. We've got to win today's game, and we did dig ourselves a pretty big hole, and we've worked pretty hard for the better part of 2 months to dig ourselves to this point. But we're still not satisfied. We've done nothing. We've played our schedule up to this point, and we've won some games recently that have got us back in the positive momentum, expecting to win. Our players have a little bit more spirit. So I think anytime you lose at this level, over the course of a week or 10 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it can beat you down a little bit. Our guys understand the length of the season due to most of the players in that locker room or that clubhouse have an understanding that we had to play 162 games to be the team that everybody talked about at the end of the year. That didn't change just because of a bad month.
Well, what does it say about the group, though, that you just were able to keep grinding and grinding? Like you said, just
We're a
play
pretty tough
today.
group. We had a resilient group. We went through this at different times last season as a group. We've gone through it this season a little bit. Our players believe in themselves, and they believe we can win today's game. Our best is good enough today, and we proved it again today. And again, we haven't played half our schedule yet. So I think everyone's racing to conclusions when we had a tough April. I don't want to race to conclusions that we've had a good June. I want to win tomorrow's game and sweep the Angels. That's where our team mentality is always going to be while I'm here.
But today, what's your level of optimism of the group you have now going forward?
I've always said, I've maintained that I liked our group. When we lost, when we got swept by the Rangers, I liked our group. When we got beat by the Red Sox in a walk-off, I liked our group. So I've always loved our team. I love those guys. They battle, they compete, they prepare. We're not perfect. We've got a few hickeys along the way, but we will compete. I can guarantee that.